Where were we last time?
I was just about to ask, and I don't know if I missed the last one, but I can look at the notes. Let's see.
Oh, it's possible nobody came, so I didn't do anything.
I think that might have been true. I think that nobody came in last time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that March 12th, nobody came.
Right. Well, then I guess we'll go by my notes that I have here somewhere. So there's this pull request from Adam. Using production list nodes to implement the grammar snippet directive. How much of this do you remember?
Let's see. We were doing. Well, I know there was one session that I missed, so you might have made some progress there, but oh God.
Okay, well let's just look
To
at
be
this.
honest, I don't remember anything. So just go ahead and
So
I'll figure it out as I go along.
you do remember the grammar snippet directive?
Yes,
We
of course.
spent a bit of
Yes.
time on
Sorry.
that, and this
Yes.
pull request. So basically, Adam improved support for this in Sphinx.
That's right. I remember that part, of course. Yes.
So the current Sphinx will just render the production list directive instead of the output mechanism piecing it together.
Oh, that's right.
So this
That's
pull
right. Okay.
request is to basically generate a production list directive instead of what was it called, the litter block. Instead of litter block, this uses production list. It moves some stuff around, but I don't think it's that important. Basically, the biggest change it does is it splits off the generation into a make production function. And the last comment from Adam was asking if a group dict is the right representation. So I don't know if you remember how we did this or how I did this. There's this group dict that comes from a regular expression match. So we have a regular expression with named with named groups. That'll give us a dict with these group names as keys, and exactly one of those should be set. Right, and then we match this group dict. So now that there's a separate function, it's more obvious that this is not a good API to, or not a good data structure to give to that function, and it really should be a pair of name and value. Does that make sense?
So a tuple instead? Is that it? Rather than
Yeah,
dictionary? Okay.
something like that. So that was my last comment here. I'm asking if a type content tuple makes it clearer, like this. There's a bunch of typing, but the meat is, instead of a dict like this, we use tuple like this.
Oh, that certainly seems to make sense.
Here, this is a bit complicated to parse. So there's a comprehension. Go through the items in the dict, and if the content is not none, we yield a pair from this comprehension, and we should get exactly one element. So this is unpacked into a pair inside a list, right? So this is a list of pairs, but it always has only one pair. So
now you say that it's a yield. Is the yield implicit in the? In other words, is it part of the comprehension? Is it an aspect of comprehension?
This is a generator comprehension.
Got it. Okay.
Generator. And that's the term. Yeah. So this will actually yield these. If these were square brackets, it would result in a list. Like this, it results in a generator. A list might be a bit faster.
Ooh,
but
that's good. That's a cool subtlety. I did not know that.
Yeah, the so let's see. This is a generator. And you can use that as an argument for a function. And if it's the only argument for the function, you can leave out like parentheses around it. If you would have two arguments to this function, let's add a list as the other one, you get a syntax error. The generator expression must be parenthesized, right? So this generator expression is the correct term for this. So this thing, if it's not the only thing in the parentheses, you need to put extra parentheses around that.
Thank you. That is super cool.
No problem. So yeah, and then it's unpacked. So I put a little comment saying what this does, and hopefully it's clear with that comment. Do you think this is clearer than passing a group dict around? I mean, I guess we also should look at the use here. So here we go for each pair of recurrent expression group name and content in the production def, and we just match for the name instead of the whole dict. Would you prefer to make this change?
Oh yeah. Well, I like the by saying group name. I think it's a little bit because So I think the group dict seems a little bit generic and not.
Yeah, that comes from the match.
Yes.
Match group dict.
Yes.
And when this was all in one function, it kind of made sense.
Yes.
But now that it's split, it's probably better to pass a list of tuples around. Alright, so let me do that. It should be in a branch called production list grammar. And I'm ahead of Adam's branch by 2 commits, and there's also a conflict. So let me merge in the main branch. And there's a conflict in topics.py, which is a generated file. Let's Let's see what the conflict is. Oh, the conflict is about when it was auto-generated.
It's really funny.
And then there's a giant conflict. Whoa. Then there's a very big conflict in topics.py. What's changed there? Let me use a graphical tool. Oh, this is no... What? No files need merging. What? I think merge tool worked for me. Before. But now it says no tools, no files need merging? I must have updated my system. Alright, so well, since topics.py is generated, I guess we just need to regenerate it and commit the result. How does one regenerate that? There should be some script for it.
Like building it? Oh.
Oh, making it? Nope.
Do a Sphinx build?
Yeah. Oh, and a doc, and a docs.
There you
right.
go.
And I need a venv as well. I wonder when get merge tool stopped working for me. I don't use that command often. Anyway, we're done now. Building finished. Now run this. Okay, let me run that. Looks like a safe command to run, except I'm not in the right directory. I need to be in doc to run that. And now the topics are generated. Oh, does the new version of Sphinx indent everything? Oh, that's great. I guess it uses pretty printing instead of building dictionaries manually or something like that. So before it wasn't indented, and now it's indented. Interesting. Okay.
Oh, maybe it's because it gets. Does it get maybe included in an RST? So maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why they indented it.
So apparently the PyDocs topics tool was removed. Let's see. What does PyDocs topics do now? Builder is PyDoc topics. Huh. Where does that live? Let me commit the merge and look where this PyDoc topics is. So no lib PyDoc data topics py, that's the generated file. Was PyDoc topics merged into Sphinx itself?
Do a search for PyDoc? Oh, no, you can't. Sorry.
Nope.
Doesn't say anything about version addict.
Where is this coming from? Oh, it's in PySpecific.
Oh.
Oh.
Topics builder.
I could have sweared that was its own separate file before. Okay. Okay. So, guess it was moved here. Yeah, and it uses P format, which is from pprint.
Oh, preprint.
Before that, it probably just dumped the dumped the wrapper or something like that. Okay. So I think I will test that. And see how it looks. Oops. This would be reference expressions. Looks pretty good. And I'm looking at the actual output. Yeah, this looks reasonable. So I think I'll just push it to Adam's branch directly. This one. Let that come through. What's going on?
Well, that's just the GitHub action running, right?
No, that's GitHub checking if it can merge this pull request.
That should be pretty quick.
Yeah. Is there an outage or something? No, everything's green. I'm worried that the commits didn't show up. Well, there should be something to merge in the main branch. But the push worked, so hopefully that's fine. So if I look again, if I look at the diff and the command line, which is probably not as nice as GitHub, but have to work, I can see how this differs from the main branch, and all the differences seem to be removing these asterisks that we don't want, and it looks like the new version is nicely indented here. Well, I guess I can see that in practice somewhere. Oops. So if I do help expressions, nope. What are the topics here? Not. X.py. Oh, it's for statements. Assignment, okay. No?
Huh? That's kind of...
Huh? Topics.
Maybe it's
assignment.
misspelled.
There we go.
Okay.
Needs to be uppercase.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it was N GN. That's what it was.
Ah, I can't spell. That's the problem.
Yeah. Assignment. Yeah. That. Wait.
Huh.
Case sensitive.
It is case sensitive.
Wow. But
that's weird. This is definitely wrong. Assignment. Nope. Oh.
cast floor. Oh.
Yeah, it was always case sensitive and uppercase. Okay. You can tell I haven't really used this thing. But everything looks perfect now. Alright, let's see. Did this update? No. That's weird. Comments worked, but for some reason the branch is stuck. That's interesting. Well, hopefully GitHub will fix that eventually. Anyway, that's one of the thing I wanted to do. The next thing I have in my notes, and feel free to interrupt me if you have something interesting to say. So there's this pull request still open about handwritten docs for tokens. How familiar are you with this one?
This one I don't think I remember at all.
Ah.
Non-OP tokens.
Yeah, so this is about improving the documentation for tokens. Currently, the token module has this list of tokens and no documentation at all about the interesting ones, but lots of documentation for the ones that aren't very interesting. Well, not lots, but one line of documentation for the ones that aren't interesting. And it even duplicates some of them. So here's token comment with documentation, but it's not a link target. If you link to comment, you will get this one. That's what thinks is this documentation for comment, and this is the actual one. The problem here is that this list is auto-generated and the automation doesn't have any information on the interesting tokens. And this pull request changes that. Let's see here. So it adds handwritten documentation for all the tokens, changes the generator to build a stable and to check rather than generate everything that it doesn't have the info for. So I wanted to look at the state of this pull request. There's a bunch of outdated comments. And I think we're done here. Looks like a good improvement to a reviewer. All the comments are resolved, so I think I'll just merge this one. I don't think there's anything interesting in the history. is taking longer than usual. But, great, now we have token documentation. Let's see the issue for that. I guess can be merged now, can be closed now. Nope, there's a different one. Another issue in the file. The slash are not escaped. Oh, where's this default? Stan, since you're here, do you know what you meant by this comment?
Oh, let's see.
Another issue in the file. Which file?
Let's see what
Where's this from?
Stan? Oh, there's Stan. Oh no, that's a different Stan.
Yeah, I think that's the same Stan. So let's search for XEF XBB XBF. Oh, I see now. There should be a backslash before each of these X's. But in which file is this? Oh, lexical analysis. Oh, it's in the lexical analysis file. Okay. Right, we should go through this one. Later.
Oh, he's saying that it should be escaped? Oh.
Yeah, there should be a backslash.
Oh, okay.
Here, well, this whole thing should probably be a literal. But I think I want to go through that in a later commit. This one. So the issue can be closed, but since, the issue is fixed in main, but since it's a docs PR, it should be backported, if possible. I'll try doing that. Nope, there's a conflict, which means I need to run cherry picker. And fix the conflict in top level directives. Yeah. So in Python 3.13 docs, we only have production list, not the grammar snippet. So these should stay as they are. I don't think I want to backport the new tooling to 3.13. So let's keep it like this. And the tool finished its cherry pick, which means I can now push it and open the pull request. To 3.13. Except the cherry pick tool made an empty commit for some reason. Which means we now have two commits here. This one is empty and this one has the correct contents. And hopefully this will be fine now. Sometime I need to take some time to look into the cherry picker tool and see why it creates empty commits.
Oh, that's a good question.
It's interesting, isn't it? Well, while that's being backported, I think I'll let it run and then look at the output and continue merging it. I think the thing we should look at next is this new doc grammar improvements branch that I have. That's I've been trying to take better notes about what I should do next week on this stream. Right, so this is the branch from January that we were working on together, rewording the f-string section. Do you remember that, Blaze?
Yes, that part I definitely remember.
Right. So I think we took a detour of about 2 months or so, 3 months or so, and I think I decided that it's better to abandon this branch and just use it as reference. And let's see.
Yes, I think that's right.
Is this the branch I want to look at? Right, yeah. Alright, so there's one commit for linking token names in lexical analysis, and I think that can go as a pull request right now because the token's pull request has been merged. So this will link to the right place. So let me make a new branch here. And I can push that as a pull request. And I'll probably make a new pull request for the identifiers after that. So since it's been some time, let's see what changed here. It might be better to look on GitHub. Can't automatically merge. I should probably merge in the main branch first. And of course there's a conflict because something changed in the meantime. Oh yeah, the pull request I just merged. Which is newer? Probably the one from main. The token section generated by the lexical analyzer, also known as the tokenizer. This chapter describes blah blah blah. So I'll keep the version from main. No other conflicts. So let's add this and commit. And now look at the diff. Right, so this basically links the token names. And it adds the end marker section for the end marker token. I think what I did is check if all the tokens are linked from the main documentation to the token list. So let's do this. This should be linked to some issue. And I think there's a catch-all issue for this whole effort, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there was.
Like improve the documentation or something like that. Align the grammar documentation with Python's actual grammar. That's the one. categories? What are these called? Token types. And this only touches the first part of the file. That's line structure and other tokens.
This is for the auto-generated token docs?
No.
No,
now,
no, this is a hint. Okay, got it. I see.
This wasn't regenerated yet, but now we should have actual proper handwritten documentation. And auto-generated only for these boring ones.
Okay.
Lost in my tabs again. Token. I think that's all this does. Just add some links. There's a bit of rewording in the other tokens because these categories are sometimes merged and sometimes not, but I think this is
Oh yeah, I remember now. There was something about end marker being different from new line.
Oh no, end marker ends the end of file.
Oh okay, I'm thinking of something else then.
Line. But it was kind of missing from the documentation, and as the issue says, align the grammar documentation with actual grammar.
Of course.
The goal is to add the tokens that are actually used. Oh, we have code owners for documentation. That's great. So it'll automatically select reviewers, hopefully, once GitHub's cool new UI updates. And well, let's see if the docs rebuild. Meanwhile, I'm on the Meanwhile, let me go back to the Lex Analysis Tokens branch here and look more at this commit we've been doing last time. I think that's what we've been doing last time. So check out this branch. I might merge in the main branch. I'll get the same conflict as before. Oh, it's been merged for me already. So, the next part of this effort should be about identifiers. And I've been merging a bit of what we've been doing in January, but I think I did a bit more here than what we did in January, and I didn't get to the part we did back then yet. So what I want to do now is to build this and see where we are and what can be improved. So the goal here will be to make a pull request just for identifiers. Alright, so everything up to other tokens is already sent as a pull request. Now we'll do identifiers, and we'll leave the literals and strings and stuff for their own pull request, which will be nasty. All right, so let's do I have this open somewhere? So lexical analysis, identifiers and keywords. And side by side with this, I can open a new window with the current documentation. Not that. Language reference, lexical analysis, and identifiers and keywords, just to see how it's different. Do I have a different font set here? Should I zoom it in? Is it possible to see this?
Aren't the fonts rendered by your local browser?
Yeah, they are. But the browser remembers the zoom setting for each website, and since these are different sites,
oh, okay.
That didn't match. I think these are the same sizes. 120% that, yeah. Right, so old wording is here, new wording is here, and I think what we did last time is just this introduction. So name tokens represent identifiers, keywords, and soft keywords. This ties into the section before that. Identifiers and keywords name. Here, identifiers and keywords are two categories, and then we have identifiers and keywords as a heading, and then just identifiers, also referred to as names. I think this name tokens is enough to say that those are referred to as names. And I restructured this to say that to first talk about the simple stuff, so the ask range. The valid characters include uppercase and lowercase characters. the underscore and the digits, which is this. Then it says names must include at least one character, which I think was added to this thing. Identifiers are unlimited length, case is significant, so that's this line. And then it goes on to say we also can use arbitrary Unicode. And that replaces Python 3.0 introduced additional characters from outside the ASCII range, see the PEP. I really don't like this line because Python 3.0 is old history and a PEP is a change proposal, and the contents of a PEP should be copied into the docs. So I'm dropping the reference to the PEP. Then there's for these characters, the classification uses the version of the Unicode character database as included in Unicode data. So if you click here, it says it's UCD version 16. Go.
There's a spelling mistake, I think, in that paragraph. The word besides, the first word of the paragraph, of that paragraph.
Oh, that is correct. Thank you. Right, next up, the exact definition of letter-like and number-like characters is based on Unicode Standard Annex, with elaboration and changes defined below. That used to be the second sentence here, right? So see also the PEP for further details, right? So I think this is not a very good introduction sentence. Like, this is technically correct, but I do want to start with the simple stuff and then expand on the technical details. Another technical detail is the NFKC normal form, and there's a very interesting wording detail where this talks about names everywhere, but here it says identifiers and then switches back to names, and that is very intentional because only identifiers and not the other names are converted to the normal form. I think I had an interesting demo last time, well, when you weren't here, where I took an example of a funny character, this uppercase or superscript n, which you can use as an identifier and set it to some value, and it sets the variable n because it's normalized, right? But if you use it inside a keyword, you get a very weird error.
Oh, how interesting. That's almost worth a blog post right there.
And you can set a variable called continue. And then if you look in the globals, you actually do have a variable called continue. But of course continue is a keyword, so you can't normally do this. So that's fun. I think this is very deep magic, and I condensed that to using the hypercorrect name, hypercorrect term identifier instead of the normal term name here. And I think that is where we ended. Yeah. So this is yeah, so that's the meat of the changes. This note is left at the end, and I've also added this name production here because I want to link to that later. Or no, oh, here we go. So identifier is what the current grammar uses, I think. So if I go to expressions, this is Adam equals identifier, right? So I need somewhere a definition of what identifier is, but I also want that to be tied to the actual token name that Python uses internally. So that's the change I made here. I said name is whatever identifier used to be before, and then identifier is name except keywords. I think that's like the technically correct way to do this.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, to make a crisp distinction between name and identifier.
Right. And everywhere this appears in the grammar, which I think is just, well, no, it's not just once. It's that can also be like variable name, argument names and stuff like that. Let's see if I can find another use. So of course it's an Adam, like a variable reference. Assignments have identifiers. Lambdas will have identifiers in the parameter list. And none of these can be keywords, so that should be technically correct. But now it is time to do the change that we did back in January. So I'll start backporting that. How do I go by doing that? Well, convert this to a grammar snippet. So instead of production list, we'll use grammar snippet. Python grammar. And since this is now using grammar snippet, it needs to be properly aligned in the source. So if I build that, hopefully that'll be fast. It's not it's not aligned properly right now. That's a good thing. It just means our new system is is actually expecting us to write what the user will see. So we need to align this manually. And that's, if you remember, that's there before. That's there because we can do things like write something on the next line here. We don't want anything automatically moving it somewhere where we don't want. Right, so this is manually. This is manual, and we can also see that this line is way too long for people to read, and it doesn't actually need to describe this in words, right? This is formal syntax. So what we did back in January was instead say ID start is ULL LT LM LO blah blah blah, the underscore, and characters with the other ID start property. And since this is in the angle brackets, that means this is a free-form description formally like this. So we can keep it like this. It's a bit over the line length limit, but I think that's fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm good with this. This is great.
Right. And then we did the same thing for ID continue, which is all characters in ID start plus all these other categories. I'll just copy that in. MN, MC, PC, ND, and other ID continue. The reason these are in a different order than here is because ND is decimal numbers, like the most important one, and the other ones are weird. Right?
I see.
Then for XID start, what we had was all characters and ID start, whose NFKC normalization is in, and now we can use formal syntax inside here just to get the links to this and that. And that's like this. Next ID continue, all characters ID continue whose NFKC normalization is in ID continue star. Right? And now instead of saying the Unicode category codes mentioned above stand for, well, before this said these are Unicode category codes. Now we need to say these abbreviations are Unicode categories codes. And copying from the work we did in January, that is, ID start contains uppercase letters, lowercase letters, title case letters, modify letters, other letters, letter numbers, the underscore, and other ID start. Right? And ID continue contains the rest. Characters and ID start, decimal numbers, should probably be in the same order here. Punctuations, non-spacing, marks, spacing, combiner marks, and another explicit list of characters. Alright, so instead of these being lists of expansions of the abbreviations, they actually list the whole contents of this rule. So before we basically had prose and the angle brackets here, but I think it's much better if it's broken out like this and it's not in this unreadable line. Right, and then there are these links which we should define. Prop list and the normalization form, I guess, should also be linked. And let's see, is the term normalization form or norm form? Normalization form. So the specification doesn't use the term normal form, so we'll need to use that. I wonder what Python's documentation uses.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Python's documentation uses normal form.
Well, not always. Oh, yes it does.
Everywhere.
Ouch.
That's not the proper term according to Unicode, but who cares? I'm not fixing these docs, I'm fixing these ones.
No, we can ask Stan to do that.
I think Stan is doing a lot of work already, but yeah.
Oh, I was joking. Just, you know, it's the old joke of if you don't show up to the meeting, you get assigned action items.
The bottleneck is actually review. Stan has a bunch of pull requests that I've been meaning to get to. Today I finally, after about 2 weeks, got to the end of my to-do list of little tasks that I need to do or delegate. And it's already end of day Wednesday, so feels like the end of the week. Right, so how is this? Identifiers and keywords. Blah, blah, blah. We went through this. Formally, names are described by the following lexical definitions. Should there be a colon here? Name, xid start, xid continue. ID start are these. ID continue is those. Xid start is that. Blah blah blah. Should there be something to say that there's a list of the abbreviations?
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this line.
Below, right? Oh, that's even better.
call this. Grammar snippet in a way that users will understand. And we have a term here.
Notation? Grammar notation?
Definition, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like adding a note in parentheses. Maybe this needs to go before. Yeah, maybe that'll be better. I leave the formal definition last. And then say the first character of an identifier, ID start, must be one of these. The how do you word this? Do you have any ideas how to word this?
Let's see. The first character. You mean that one line? The first.
Yeah.
How about a normalized identifier begins with the character, with one of these characters, one of the following characters. Yeah, it must begin with one of these characters, or one of the following characters.
Oh, these are sets of characters, right?
Yeah, okay, so with one of the must Beginning with, oh, I see, a character within within the following categories. It must begin with a character from the following. Are those groups? Categories. Okay.
Categories. Well, these are formal Unicode categories. Underscore.
Okay.
Well.
Categories.
But I also want to.
Okay.
I also want to mention ID start, which is.
Oh, okay. So a normal listener must begin with a character known as ID start, and it must
character from the set ID start.
Okay, set ID start. Okay. With a character from the set ID start. In other words, one of these. And belong to the following to one of the following characters.
Not and belong. ID start is like the combination of these.
Okay. So with the character from set ID start.
Now maybe and then say formally here. Formally, the first character of normalized identifier must set ID start as defined as the what's the set theory name for combination? What's the English term? Glossary of set theory. Okay. That's too many. Proper superset. Intersection. That's it. Oh no, union.
I'm back.
Did I break this? How does propless txt? This can call that a set, right? Let's make this a set. So with this word formally here, I can be a bit more explicit. How does this look?
Must point to the set ID start. Oh, beautiful! Which is the union of. Set ID start. Okay, great. ID start is the union of all of these other ID start. Wow, that's sweet. Yeah.
All right. characters. Just the union of characters and here is start. This is a good formal way to define a set, right? Set of all characters and ID start.
Okay, great.
I like this, like even more formally. It's sort of an informal phrase, right?
That's great. Yeah, yeah. It makes me want to put on my gown or something. Powdered wig.
All right. Okay, and let's see. I want to look at this UAX31, which might actually define ID start already. Yeah, ID start. The different capitalization. So let's move this this line below. These sets are based on this annex, and I think the Unicode ID start doesn't include underscore, so it's not that one. So we need to say we're extending this. Customization, now that's the term. We say it's customized per paragraph 1.2. Or maybe customized for Python's use or something like that.
Oh, I love it. This stuff is great.
Combine. customized. Or maybe based on is fine on its own. Yeah, based on is perfect on its own, doesn't it? Maybe this goes there. Yeah. Go. And I want to put the lowercase ones here. Because it's really weird to omit them in a case-sensitive language.
I see. Okay.
Okay, I think we're done. Do you think we're done? This could be reworded, maybe. Oh, there should be set. Talking about sets here. Other ID continuous I think that one is smaller. Oh, this uses underscores. Oh, this one uses also underscores. Okay. These are very small sets. Other ID start. Mongolian. Script capital P. Estimated symbol. What?
Oh wow. Estimated symbol? Oh, is that like a tilde or something?
Let's see. Oh no, it's an E. That's what this means.
Okay.
I know I saw this on some packaging. Estimated, okay. Now some Japanese for continuation. The middle dot. Yeah, that one's interesting. This is a letter.
Oh shit. Okay.
Right?
The middle dot?
The middle dot. Some languages actually use this as a letter.
Okay.
I think it's like some language has this. I can't search for it because it's not a letter for the search engine. Anyway, yeah, that's the. Very, very interesting letters. If you want to confuse people, just look in the look in these like other letter categories, and there's a bunch of those. I think my Pep has
yeah, confusable homoglyphs.
confusable homoglyphs.
Oh, there it goes. Confusable, yeah. Confusable characters.
Like this one. These are letters. Anyway, back to this. Are we done? We are not. We need to regenerate the documentation and see how it looks. I think this is enough for a pull request, or at least for a commit. And since I already did everything above in a different pull request, oh, maybe we should go through the keywords as well.
Oh, I thought we weren't going to do keywords. In other words, I thought we were just going to do identifiers because it was going to be too much to try to do both.
Well, identifier, this should say names, right?
Oh,
it should say.
That's great. Nice touch.
No, well, this should say names. This is all names. And keywords. The following identifiers are used as reserved words or keywords and cannot be used as ordinary identifiers. So this is names. And they must be spelled exactly as written here. I think this is fine as a table. Maybe it should be linked somehow, somewhere. Oh, that's fine. Soft keywords. Some identifiers, some names. Only use reserved under specific context. Those are not the soft keywords. The identifiers, the names. Again. Syntactically act as keywords in certain context, but this distinction is done at the parser level, not when tokenizing. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much text.
Yeah, I think so. Unless you want to put that as a note or something, a little admonition. Maybe afterwards, like at the bottom of the section.
No, I definitely don't want to duplicate the list here.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, hang on a second. How about where it says match case and are used in the match statement, type is used in the type statement? Wouldn't you then say something like, by the way, these are distinct. This distinction is made at the parser level.
Oh, maybe I want to do this.
Yeah, good, yeah. Even better, yeah. Yeah, you can get rid of that sentence then.
I want to space specific.
Okay, yeah. In these specific, right, exactly. In their specific, okay, in their specific.
Like that's just the context, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's see how that looks. Come on. Did I break something? No. Oh no, Sphinx is slow. So I'll need to rebuild everything. And then we have reserved classes of identifiers. Certain classes, besides keywords and soft keywords, but I guess that's included, have special meanings. These are identified by the pattern of leading and trailing underscore characters. This looks fine as it is, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
I think I reviewed this a few years back.
Yeah. Oh, actually. I see. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
And that's the end of the section. So if
Beautiful.
Sphinx is done, we maybe I can reorganize this a little better. No. It's good as it is. Right. I think we're done. Does anything come to mind that should be improved still, or is it better to send the pull request now?
I think we should send the pull request now, and then if anything, maybe leave a note for ourselves for the next, what to do next.
Right, so since this is still a private branch, I want to rebase onto main, and I want to rebase interactively because this part is already sent as a pull request. Right. So I have two commits here, that should be fine. I probably want a better branch name as well. And open the pull request. Should again be, where's this issue? So use consistent terminology. Then for what else did we do?
Oh, in this PR, let's see.
Yeah, miscellaneous rewording.
Yeah, pretty much. where we changed also the grammar snippet to production, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
We should be doing that throughout.
Production list to grammar snippet. That's what I meant to say.
Right. Yeah, let's go with that. 5 minutes over time, but well, 2 pull requests sent today.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's not really helping this number. Should probably have a separate stream on reviewing stuff.
That would actually, I think that would be really great. I can think of people that I could recruit for that.
All right.
Quite honestly, if we had something like that, I think at least the YouTube recordings would be appreciated.
Well, I probably mostly want people to come in and talk about their pull requests. Because sometimes you know, the asynchronous nature of this isn't good. Like
certainly, we got a lot done when Adam dropped in.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe if some pull request author wants to come in and comment on the pull request and have a conversation, that might be interesting. Well, just need more time.
I have an idea how we could do that. We could have an invitation-only office hour, and people could apply.
Invitation-only office hour.
Yeah.
The problem is when to do this. So I don't think I have too many empty slots left in my week.
No. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would basically be something that you would do at your discretion. Like, it wouldn't necessarily because it's invitation only. It doesn't have to be like at a standing time, right? You decide when to do it.
I guess that works. Well, I'll think about it. But for this week, thank you for your attention, and
thank you. Absolutely.
see you in the next one.